After his stunning performance over John Ryder, King Canelo is undoubtedly back in business, and rumors have suggested that his next opponent will be none other than Jermall Charlo, with a fight date set for September. In this video, we'll break down how this fight will go and why Canelo Alvarez versus Jermall Charlo isn't going to be close. Stick around to find out who has the better attributes, experience, style, and IQ. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss a second of this one. If you haven't heard yet about these rumors, then you're probably wondering why Canelo is choosing to take on Charlo, a man who hasn't been in the ring for 2 years. For many fans, the obvious move was to take on Benavidez or even Errol Spence Jr. Well, there are actually a few reasons for making this fight, so let me explain. After the Ryder fight, a lot of fans and critics started to suggest that Canelo is past his best days and should even start to consider retirement. If the Mexican King is able to defeat Charlo, an undefeated fighter, these allegations might be put to bed. What's more, now is the perfect time to fight Charlo. He's had several personal issues, leading to a 2-year absence from the ring. This will surely be a factor in the fight. We will look at this in more detail a little later on. So this bout is clearly a good move from Canelo. But does he possess the skill to dethrone the WBC middleweight champion? Let's find out. As the old saying goes, styles make fights, and the man with superior style will likely come out victorious. Charlo uses a very traditional style. He stands tall, using stiff jabs to keep his opponent at range. He then drives right hands in with great accuracy, using knockout power in both hands to get the stoppage. Good footwork keeps him out of trouble, making for a very clean and clinical style. Canelo, on the other hand, is a born power puncher. He comes forward using excellent defense to get on the inside and land vicious body hooks and straights to the temple. He wears his opponents down over several rounds and doesn't mind losing the first half of the fight on points because his goal is always to get the knockout later in the fight. Canelo has faced Charlo's style at the highest level multiple times, coming out victorious on every occasion. Charlo, on the other hand, has never faced someone who hits so heavily for so long. So in terms of style, Canelo has the advantage. It's hard to see any attribute other than reach that Charlo possesses over Canelo. Canelo has better power in both hands, better head movement and defense, a more sophisticated IQ, better stamina, and is overall a much more well-rounded fighter. Charlo has not shown anything in fights that Canelo has never seen before. This is why Canelo is such a big favorite going into this fight. Activity is another big factor when considering who the victor of this fight is going to be. And from the looks of things, Canelo has been the more active fighter. The Mexican fought twice in 2022, losing to Dimitri Bivol and winning against Triple G. He's also fought once this year already against John Ryder, putting in 12 rounds of hard graft and work. On the other hand, Charlo hasn't fought since his decision victory over Juan Macias Montiel in June 2021. That's 2 years of inactivity, a lifetime for a fighter. This inactivity could haunt Charlo. Should the two fighters share the ring? All it takes is a few rounds of ring rust to get KO'd or lose the opening rounds and in turn the decision. Austin Trout, a man who has faced both Canelo and Charlo before, recently weighed in on this potential matchup, highlighting how big of a factor Charlo's inactivity will be. Here's what he had to say. Canelo hasn't been looking great. He's not the same as he was before. But he's been active, he's been training, and he's been busy. I'm not saying Charlo hasn't been training, but he ain't been fighting. It's going to be in Charlo's hometown, which will probably give him a bit more ambition to win. The only thing I'm looking at which is not good for Charlo is his inactivity. Weight is another huge factor to consider in this fight. Charlo may be the naturally bigger man going into the ring. However, Canelo has fought at 175 pounds twice in his career already and has also had 7 bouts at 168 pounds. What these stats show is that Canelo can carry his power and endurance up the weight ladder, so Charlo's natural weight advantage may not be such an advantage after all. However, we did see Canelo struggle against a tall, long fighter in Bivol last year. Perhaps Charlo will be able to impose his size in a similar way to keep the Mexican at range and walk him into a sharp right hand. Another huge factor in this fight is the experience of the fighters. Both are world champions, but the level of opponents that these two have faced varies drastically. Canelo has taken on literally every elite fighter in his weight class. Mayweather, Saunders, Plant, Smith, Kovalev. The list of world-class fighters goes on and on and on. Charlo, on the other hand, has never faced an elite world-class fighter. The best opponent he fought was Montiel. Beyond this, his record is frankly padded with mediocre fighters. This is a big factor coming into this fight. Canelo has been to hell and back in several fights. He's seen dozens of different styles, been in hundreds of awkward positions, and knows how to handle himself no matter the opponent. Whereas Charlo has never really been in a tough fight in his life, where he really had to find something out of nothing. This lack of experience is likely going to show when the two share the ring in September. Overall, it's clear that Canelo is a big favorite coming into this fight, and for good reason. His power, fight IQ, and defense make for a very dangerous style that Charlo probably isn't going to keep up with. However, let's not count out Charlo just yet. Charlo's style could definitely pose a few problems to Canelo early on. Canelo will likely struggle to find his way inside. There's a good chance he'll lose the first few rounds. But we all know that Canelo is a born knockout artist. You can stop him from eventually landing that killing blow, and in our view, Charlo will face his first loss in September. So if this fight does happen, we'll be backing the Mexican to take the victory by late stoppage or unanimous decision. We'd love to get your thoughts on this fight in the comments below. So let us know who you're backing and what challenges you'd like to see Canelo face next. And before you go, be sure to jab that like button and give the bell icon a left hook. We'll see you in the next video, fight fans.